Anisha.
Yes, please. All the good stuff.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Hello, good to see you. I'm good. How are you? Yeah. It's that, I think daylight savings does something to me.
I think so. I guess.
Yeah.
It could be better. Yeah, to see my steps over.
Oh,
That could be part of it.
that could be, yeah.
I have a bathroom's on the third floor. So
Uh-oh.
I'm always going up for something.
Yeah.
I guess that'll keep me younger.
Yes. I know. I often think my dad comes to stay with me. He's like, I like that you have floors that I have to walk up to because it helps me like stay up and down and move my legs.
Right, we were at my sister's in Florida, and she's from Orland. And when I got home, I felt like there was going
Yes.
and the washers in the basement.
So that's the only, yeah.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
I'm getting older. It's so hot.
Yeah. Hi, how are you? Good. I want a ribbon. Yeah. An honorable mention. But it's still a ribbon nonetheless.
Exactly right. What color is honorable mention on
It's white with gold lettering.
That's the best.
How was your time there? Did you get to go?
Yeah, we did. It was a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was like so much stuff, and you wanted to pay respect and give things time, but
Yeah, yeah, I know. There's so many sections. that by the time I finish the displays, I barely have energy to make it to the shops. Yeah.
Get to the honey.
Get to the honey, yes. Yeah, but I learned a lot, which is I'm coming for the blue ribbon next year. I submitted it in the incorrect category. When I submitted it, I just kind of went and put it onto the website to see a begonia. But when I looked around, I saw there's a specific kind of begonia that you could submit it in. And I know this is being recorded, but I looked at those other cane begonias and I'm like, next year I'm coming.
I thought I knew what a begonia looked like until I got to the
Me too. There were so many things. And each time, because the nice thing about submitting a plant is that you get to go multiple times because you have to resubmit it sometimes. So you have to like wipe it down and fluff it up and make it look pretty or turn it so that the judges can see a different side. And every day there's a new category of plants that's being submitted. So every day. So sometimes when I first got there, all the cacti were there. And then it was the potted daffodils that are only there for a day. Then the violets that are only there for a day. It is a whole system. I didn't know that either. Yeah, but it's a well-oiled machine, so I'm really looking forward to picking the brains of everyone who's participating in it, because there's such a good culture of people who've been submitting plants and growing plants for 40 or 50 years.
Sure, and I saw a number of names that were repeated, like people who are into this big time. They must have like whole...
It's one of the cults that I would like to be involved in. I'm not available for cults, but flower show cults I can do.
Well, go for the blue.
Yes. Oh, hi, good to see you. Happy Monday, y'all. Happy Daylight Savings. Day 1, day 2 of Daylight Savings. I know it doesn't mean spring is officially here, but in my mind, I've deemed it as such. So I'm glad we made it to class. Any requests this afternoon? Any things that your body needs, is craving, poses, body parts? I have an agenda, but very happy to weave in anything that you need. Hips and calf stretches, yes, same. Low back, strengthening back. Great, I love it. Well, as always, modify, spectate, hydrate, pace yourself. We'll get to all of those hips, calves, strengthening of the back, and so much more. But last week, if we were together, you might have remembered we shared stories of this famous man who's been up here for 10 years. And sometimes we forget that he exists because he's kind of quiet. But on February 26th, was his birthday, and his birthday is called Mahashivaratri, and this is Shiva, the Lord of Yoga. So last week I mentioned a story, the churning of the Milky Ocean, where the ocean of milk began to churn and so many things emerged, including a very toxic poison, that Shiva was the only one who was able to come and destroy it. And so today, not quite a story, but if you've taken class at the studio, you might have heard some of the teachers saying, there's a reason why there's no mirrors in the yoga studio. One, I think aesthetically, it would get very bright in here because of all the light. And two, the story is that the more you get to learn about qualities of the deities, the more you hear the mythological stories, they start to become a mirror for you to see your own reflection. Because as much as we think the gods and goddesses were created before us, in fact, they are created as a reflection of us. The humans are the ones that created the gods and goddesses. So today, I want to point out to just 3 things that are kind of in his hands in the way that he is. So in his right hand, he's holding a drum. It's called a damur. And the idea is that he would bang it back and forth, and it resembled the sound of a heartbeat. In some traditions, it also says that him banging the drum back and forth was how the language of the Sanskrit alphabet came to be, because of the pulsations, almost like Morse code, where he began to pulse and create language and stories and mythology as we knew it. So his right hand represents the creation of the entire world. His bottom leg, which we talked a little bit about last week, it's always bent. And it helps him kind of feel the ground beneath him. It helps him sustain, preserve, not trip, kind of feel and be adaptable to the world that's constantly shape-shifting and surrounding. So we have creation in one hand, the act of preservation in the bottom leg, and then the third one, in his left hand, he's holding a ball of fire. And not only is he dancing in a ring of fire itself, but he holds the fire in his hand, because if you think of the element of fire, out of most of the elements, it has the most potent power of transformation. It's something that fire transforms solid to gas, liquid to gas, solid to any matter that it could possibly be. And so within his stance, in any imagery that you see of him, he holds the entire way that the universe exists. He creates, he preserves and sustains, and he also destroys so that fertile ground can be created again. So today we're going to practice a few rounds of back bends in repetition. You might see that we'll do a few rounds of the same back bends in synchrony with each other. And the question becomes, within your own practice from start to finish, it's a practice of creating, sustaining, destroying in Shavasana in order to awaken again to create and move into the world that we surround ourselves with. So much more to say about it, but it's also not lost on me that it's all in a circle and a triangle around him, kind of swirling in his general direction. So lots of rounds of dancer. We'll go upside down and we'll see where it takes us. If you don't have one already, I can bring you a strap. We'll use it in today's practice, some therapy balls, and everything else. But let's begin today in a comfortable seat, however that looks for you. You might start lying down on the floor. You might start cross-legged or up on your knees. But as you arrive in your seat in any way, shape, or form, let your hands fall where they fall, in your lap, on top of your legs. And as you soften or close your eyes, begin to listen for your breath. When we close our eyes, it gives us a moment to see ourselves more clearly than before. A moment to tune out the external stimuli and see what's happening in your interior world under the surface of your skin. As you become more acquainted with the dark, with your own seat, can you listen for the sound of your own breath, where each inhale might move from your nose down into your belly and up into your heart. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out in every direction of your being. Continue with a few more breaths on your own, where each breath moves in, back, down, and wide. And each exhale pours itself up, out, and through you. As we start our practice and our time together with 3 more rounds of that breath, a moment to gather your hands to center anywhere that feels for you, on your person or in front of your heart. As you take a deep breath in, let it fill you up. And exhale to offer the breath out. 2 more times, just on your own. At the bottom of your breath, pause for even a moment. Notice any difference that comes with listening for and truly remembering your breath. And now keeping that attention inward as best as you can, let your hands slowly release, blink your eyes open, and come forward to tabletop to begin to link breath and movement through a few rounds of cat and cow. Perhaps your blocks are framing out the front corners of your mat. Let those hands be as wide as your mat, index fingers point straight ahead. And as you curl your toes under behind you, Begin to round and arch your spine, moving with your breath. Let's take 5 cycles of breath just on your own, really linking how your body and your breath can begin to harmonize together. And just like in the deity of Shiva, he holds the drum, the bent knee, the fire, all of the acts of creating, preserving, and destroying. You have that here within your own breath. With each inhale, you create more spaciousness, more capacity. You might hold and preserve the breath at the top of your inhale before it dissolves with each exhale and the cycle repeats. So for these next few rounds of breath, continue on your own. Maybe you stay rounded or arched for a few extra cycles. Perhaps you move more forward and back, your hips towards your heels and shoulders forward of the wrists. But take another long inhale in and a deeper breath out through every direction of you. The bottom of your exhale, come back to table. Find your neutral spine. Stretch the right leg back behind you, curl the toes under, and reach through your heel for the first of the calf stretches for the afternoon. Maybe you keep the heel still or gently move it back and forth, but think heel back and very top of your head forward to grow longer in each direction. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And then switch. Bend your right knee, stretch back through the left. Notice what you feel on the second side. Whether the heel stays still or moves back and forth, can you feel the bottom of your heart growing longer to the front of the room so all 4 sides of your neck can lengthen? And then make your way back to table after a few breaths here. Walk your hands forward of your shoulders. Let your knees come behind your hips. And with your toes tucked under, we'll meet in downward facing dog as you lift your hips up to the sky. In this first down dog of class, take anything it is that you need. Maybe it's some stillness with the hands heavy, the hips lifting high. Perhaps you pedal your heels gently from one side to the other. But in any way you are, can you offer it to your breath? A deeper breath in to fill you up, and a longer breath out to dissolve and offer each exhale out. At the bottom of your breath, lift the heels, soften your knees, peek forward, and 1 foot at a time, begin to walk your feet towards your palms to come into your forward fold. The blocks may be right there so that they can meet you where you are underneath your hands. You might widen your feet or soften your knees in service of giving your low back an extra space. If it feels appropriate for your head and shoulders, even drop your head and gently just nod your head no, even yes, as you bow in towards yourself. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Now climb your hands up onto your hips, stand through your legs, and on an inhale, come up to rise as your hands come by your sides. With your feet right underneath your hips, take an inhale, reach your arms forward and up. And on your exhale, soften your knees as you fold over your legs. Wait for your breath in to come up halfway, hands to blocks or shins as you grow longer through your spine. And on your exhale, fold, plant your palms and step it back to plank pose, the top of your push-up. With your knees down or up, feel your legs back in space. And without moving them, energetically hug your legs together. Feel them become one pillar. Hug your palms together. Feel the forearms, your shoulder blades engage. And can you slide your ears back so your head is in line with your chest? A big breath in. And on your exhale, bend your elbows to lower fully down to your belly. Keep those hands wide. On an inhale, rise for cobra or baby cobra. Press the feet into the earth, slide the ribs back. And on your exhale, we meet in downward facing dog, tabletop, or puppy pose for 3 steady breaths. Even this first round of these sun salutations, of these warm-ups, it's a moment to see what comes up in your body and being. Any sensations, any feeling, and in the remembrance of your breath, perhaps sooner than I suggest. So as you take a longer breath in, can it fill you up in each direction? and a steadier breath out as you lift your hips up to the sky. At the bottom of your exhale, lift the heels, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, to your standing forward fold. Inhale to come up halfway to lengthen, grow longer through the spine. And exhale to fold, bowing in. Use your own fists, measure your feet about 2 fists width apart. Keep your toes pointing ahead, bend your knees, sit your hips back, climb your palms up onto your thighs for chair. Think hips to the back of your mat. You might push into the legs to lift up through the chest. Keep your hands on your thighs, or to add some heat, reach the arms up to the sky. But feel those ribs move towards the back of your mat to broaden the middle of your back. Slide your ears back to lift your chin as you take a full breath in. Stay for the exhale. Let the hips sit lower to the earth as you lift your heart up to the sky. On an inhale, stand through your legs. Reach up, get taller than you've been. And on your exhale, fold, bowing in. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot back to catch your lunge. And now come high up onto blocks or fingertips on either side of your right foot. Wiggle the left toes back another inch or 2 towards the back of your mat. And for a few twists, keep your left hand down. Reach your right arm straight ahead towards the wall in front. As you stretch through the right fingertips, try to wrap your outer right hip back. A big breath in here. And on your exhale, we twist open to the right, a big circle. Reach back through the right fingertips and forward. Inhale to grow long. Every exhale, revolve, open to the right. One more. On your inhale, reach through the fingertips, through the crown of your head. And now the third time you twist, stay twisting to the right. Reach the right fingertips to the ceiling. Lift your left heel and thigh higher up off the ground. As you slide the shoulders back to lean back, a bigger breath in. Stay for one more exhale. Perhaps you bend into that front right thigh. On an inhalation, unwind, lower the right hand, soften the back knee, and step your left foot forward to meet your right into your forward fold. Inhale to lengthen halfway, grow long. As you exhale, fold and bow in. With your feet a fist's width or 2 fists width apart, bend your knees, sit the hips back. Last round, Utkatasana. Hands to thighs or arms up overhead. But 3 deep breaths, listen for them. A big breath in and down. With every exhale, think hips heavy as you lift your heart up to the sky. Now slide those ribs and belly back, the ears back to lift your chin. If your arms are overhead, can you spread the fingers and slide your hands back in line with your ears? One more breath in. Stay for your exhale. And on an inhale, stand, reach up, get tall. And as you exhale, fold and bow in. With your left foot forward, step your right foot back to catch your lunge. High up on fingertips or blocks as you keep the left knee bent and reach your chest long towards the front of the room. Now the right hand stays down. Reach your left fingertips forward. Take a breath here. Can you grow long through the left fingertips? But my left hip wants to wrap forward. Can you tack it back? A big breath in. And as you exhale, we begin the twist, open to the left. Twice more, sweep the left arm back and forward. Big breath in. As you exhale, revolve. On your third twist, stay twisting open to the left. The left fingertips reach to the sky. Lift your back heel, knee and thigh higher. Wrap your left hip back, and then the shoulders and ears back to lean against yourself. A deeper breath in. Stay for one more exhale and bend into the front thigh. Now on your inhale, unwind, lower the hands. We meet in down dog. Plant your palms. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Give yourself a breath. Pedal the heels from side to side. Notice any difference that you may feel. On your next inhale, come forward to plank pose. As you exhale, lower fully down onto your belly. Once you're on your belly, bring your hands off of your mat onto the floorboards. Come up onto your ridge tops or even your finger tops as you dart your elbows to the sky. For this wide-armed cobra, look down to the floor. On an inhale, lift up through the chest. Now as you look to the floor, you might feel or notice your belly in space. Can you press your feet down, slide the ribs back, breathe into the middle of your back. Now keep that stamina in the torso. as you hug the shoulder blades together and slide your ears back so your head is in line with your chest. A big breath in, and on your exhale, release, lower down. Let your hands come under your shoulders, curl your toes. On an inhale, push the floor away from you, table or plank pose, and exhale to take it back to downward facing dog. I always love taking that wide-armed cobra, because the wider your hands get, the more space you might feel in your chest. So if at any point today or any class that feels more sustainable, feel free to use it. But from your down dog, on your next inhale, float the right leg up and back. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand for this lizard lunge. Spin your back heel all the way to the floor, like warrior two. And for this hybrid called down dog lunge, begin to walk your hands to the left side of your mat, the left top corner. Think if you could split this pose in half. From your hips up, you'd be in down dog, so let your hands be forward of your shoulders, as wide as your shoulders. From your hips down, you're in warrior two. Let the right knee and toes point straight ahead as you bend into the right thigh. Now feel your palms, push them down and forward into the earth, and lift your hips up and back to the wall behind you. A deeper breath in. Stay for the exhale. Perhaps you bend into the right thigh as you guide your right knee open towards your pinky toes. Now on your inhale, keep your legs where they are. Walk your hands back so you can climb your right forearm up onto your right thigh and left hand to your hip for extended side angle. Feel both feet on the ground. Give them a squeeze in towards each other. And now hug the shoulder blades together. Slide the ears back. Maybe your left hand stays or you reach it forward towards the front of the room. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out through every direction, fiber of your being. Good. Keep the legs the same. Reach back through the left arm. On an inhale, rise for warrior two. Stay for the exhale and bend one more inch into the front thigh. Now press the right leg straight. Take a breath. Get long in every direction. And on your exhale for triangle pose, let your right hand come to a block or to the floor on the inside of that right leg. Good. Once your right hand taps something solid, the ground or the floor, remember your legs. Give them a hug in towards each other as if the right foot could pull back while the left foot could hug forward. Now press straight down into the right hand, reach up through the left fingertips, and slide the ears back. A bigger breath in and a longer breath out. On your next inhale, look to the floor, unwind, bring your hands to the ground, bend your right knee and step it back to downward facing dog. A moment to pedal the heels from one side to the other. See what you feel. And a few more times together. On an inhale, come to plank pose. As you exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to rise for maybe the wide-armed cobra or cobras. You lift up through the chest. And as your exhale finds you, we meet in downward facing dog, hips to the sky. From your down dog, a full steady breath in and a deeper breath out in every direction of your being. Second side, lift the left leg up and back. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand for this lizard lunge. Spin your back heel to the floor. And now this time, walk your hands to the inside of your left foot to the right corner of your mat. Good. They might come onto the floorboards. Your hands might be up on blocks. But with your hands wider than your shoulders and forward of your shoulders, use them, push them down and forward to lift your tush up and back towards the long edge of your mat. As you listen for the breath, a deeper breath in. Stay for the exhale. Think the hips high to the sky as you bend into the left knee and thigh and guide it open towards your pinky toes. Notice what you feel. That's the way. Keep the legs steady. Walk your hands back to come into Parsvotkonasana, extended side angle. Left forearm can start on your left thigh. You might bring your right hand to your hip to steady you. Hug your feet together, hug the shoulder blades together. Keep your right hand on your hip or begin to reach your right arm forward towards the front of the room. But a full breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale. Can you push into the left forearm and think belly to the right, even towards the sky? Now the legs stay the same. Reach the right hand back. On an inhale, rise, warrior two. Lift up through the chest, stay for the exhale, and bend into the front thigh. Now press the left leg straight. Take a breath, reach through the fingertips, grow tall through the top of your head, and exhale to Trikonasana, left hand to your block, or to the floor on the inside of that left leg. Once your left hand holds something solid, remember your feet. Give them a hug in towards each other. And as you hug the legs in, press down into the left hand so the right fingertips can reach up to the skylights above you. Slide the shoulders back, the ears back to perhaps lean against yourself. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. On your next inhale, unwind, look to the earth, bring your palms to the floor, bend your left knee, and step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels from one side to the other and notice what you feel and see. And now from your down dog, inhale to plank pose for a moment so we can meet on our bellies, lower all the way to the floor. Make a pillow with your palms, rest on your forehead, rest on one of your cheeks. Let your legs be long behind you as you listen for the full depth of your breath. And now here, against the ground, we started a while ago, seated, listening for and feeling the breath itself. With the ground underneath you, can you notice how as you breathe into your belly, the breath might broaden into the lowest part of your back and expand. And now the more you breathe into your belly and up into your chest, the entire back of your body expands and broadens, this three-dimensional quality of your breath. Now keeping that connection to your breath, come up onto your forearms for this version of the thigh stretch. We're coming into half frog, Ardha Bekasana. Let your elbows be right under your shoulders, palms heavy. Bend your right knee, lift your right toes up off the floor. Now keep your left forearm down and let your right hand reach around for the right foot. If being up on the forearm like this creates any tension or creakiness in the low back, I also love to make a pillow with the left hand and let my forehead rest on the left palm. But in any variation you are, feel your right thigh behind you. Press it down into your sticky mat. Hug your thighs towards one another to create length in the low back. And now as you shrug your right shoulder up and back, take a deep breath in. Stay for the exhale. Feel the right heel move towards your right tush. On your next inhale, with care, release the hold of that right leg and switch sides, either right palm on the floor, let your forehead rest, or let your right forearm come under your shoulder. Bend your left knee, lift your left toes up, and now reach your left hand around for the pinky side edge of your left foot. That's it. Can you feel your left thigh down on the floor? Press it into the ground and hug your inner thighs towards each other. Now as you shrug your left shoulder up and back, take a deep breath in. Stay for the exhale. Feel the left heel come towards your left tush to notice what you feel in the left thigh. On your next inhale, slowly release the hold of the leg. Bring your hands to either side of your chest. Curl your toes, press up through to tabletop, and come back to sit on your heels. Shake it out, sip some water, take a breath or two. Everyone has a strap or something that resembles a strap you can use. We'll take a shoulder stretch. You can unravel it like a big jump rope and place it just to the right side of your mat. We'll come into this version of Gomukhasana in the arms. So from your table, back to all fours, see if you can bring your legs as close as they can possibly come. Thighs, knees, feet to touch. Curl all 10 of your toes under, and for this version of hero's pose, or thunderbolt pose, sit your hips back onto your heels. Remember to alleviate pressure. You might bring a block between your hips and your heels. You might also stand on your knees, keeping the toes curled. But grab your strap in your right hand, reach your right arm up to the sky, and now bend your right elbow to give yourself a pat on the back. Reach the left arm to the side, turn your left thumb to the earth, and let your left hand grab the dangly edge of the strap behind you. That's it. Now think, the actions that we work here, can you wrap your right arm towards your right ear? And now let the left elbow move more to the middle of your spine. I said this last week. Mine doesn't go anywhere, but I like to imagine it does. The left elbow to the right. And now create some resistance. So gently tug your strap apart as you press your head back to lift your chin and slide the ribs back. A full breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale as you offer that breath out. On an inhale, slowly unwind your arms. Come back forward to table. Shake the feet out, pad them out, roll out your ankles. A second to reset the feet. And now for the second variation, you might do the toes tucked under again, or to feel something different, point your feet. Do your best to squeeze your heels towards each other while your hips sit back onto your heels. You might feel this more in your ankles and the fronts of the legs. Grab your strap in your left hand, reach the left arm up, bend your left elbow, give yourself a pat on the back. And as your right arm reaches to the side, I like to turn the thumb to the earth, so when I bend my right elbow, I can grab the dangly edge of the strap. Good, one side might feel very different than the other, depending on which arm you're dominant in. But these actions, as you wrap the left arm toward your ear, slide the right elbow to the middle of your spine, gently tug your strap apart, the slightest bit of resistance to press your head back. Slide the ribs back as you press your head back. A big breath in and a longer breath out. On your next inhale, with care, unravel your arms. Release the strap to the side, we'll use it later, and come back forward to tabletop, to your hands and your knees. If we were together in September, you might have heard me sharing stories. I'm pointing to the stuffed animal above the camera. He's the elephant-headed god Ganesh, who's Shiva's son. He rides around on the back of a little mouse. Ganesh's mom, Durga, she rides on the back of a lion or a tiger. And now Shiva's vehicle is a cow, so we just did cow face pose in reverence to here, my most hated pose from arm to arm, because never once will it feel different, even after doing it for 15 years. So notice what you feel in the shoulders. Come back to table, your hands and your knees. Walk your palms forward of your shoulders, knees behind your hips, and as the toes tuck under, downward facing dog for a breath longer. From your down dog, float the right leg up and back. Step it through to catch your lunge. Wait for your inhale to come up to high lunge. Reach the arms, your chest, and your torso to the sky. Now feel your back leg. Lift your back heel high, lift your back thigh high. And as you stretch up through the arms, even look away from the ground, a bigger breath in. Stay for your exhale and bend into that front thigh. And now hands come to your hips. Tiny bend in the back knee. We come up to balance. Spring off your left foot. Scoop your left thigh to your chest. Cross your left ankle over the right thigh and sit those hips back like chair pose for figure 4. You might keep your hands on your hips. They might come in front of your heart. They might hold the wall if you're close. But take a full breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Think hips heavy as you lift your heart up to the sky. On your next inhale, come up to rise. Lower both feet to the ground. Feel gravity beneath. And let your hands come onto your hips. Now lean all of your weight into your left foot. Lift your right heel. And for this version of dancer pose, let your right hand catch onto the pinky side edge of the right foot. Bend your left standing knee. Just like his is, let it soften. Hug your thighs towards each other and shrug the right shoulder up and back. Now as you kick your foot back into your hand, lift your heart up to the sky. Your left hand might stay on your hip. It might come in front of your heart. You might reach it up overhead. But take a full breath in and down. Stay for the exhale. Think foot back as you lift up through the heart. On your inhale, with care, release both feet to the floor. Release your hands. Feel gravity beneath you. And on your next inhale, reach up, get tall. As you exhale, soften the knees to fold over your legs. Plant your palms to the top of your mat. Walk your feet to the back of your mat to take it to downward facing dog. And now from your down dog, bring your hands to come as wide as your mat if they're not already. Take up some space. We'll find a little twist here in down dog. So keep both hands heavy, feet hip-width distance apart. Turn both heels to the left and all 10 toes to the right, keeping your right palm on the ground. Now as the heels go left, toes turn right, push your palms down and forward to lift your hips up and back. And notice what you feel in the right side of your body, maybe the left. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And now come back through center, heels to the sky, soften your knees. Lift the left leg up and back. Step it through to catch the lunge. Slow, steady breath in, take your time. Come up to high lunge on the second side. Reach the arms to the sky. Feel your feet on the ground. Lift the back thigh high, reach up through the fingertips, and see where you're going as you take a longer breath in and a deeper breath out. Maybe let the left thigh descend towards the earth. Your hands can stay overhead, or perhaps they come to your hips. Tiny bend in the back knee and spring off the right foot. Cross your right ankle over. Hinge those hips, sit them back. Bend your left standing knee to come into standing figure 4 or pigeon chair. Your hands might come in front of your heart, to the wall, to your hips, or overhead, but a full breath that moves in and down to fill you up. And as you exhale, let the hips get heavy as you lift your heart to the sky. On your next inhale, come all the way up to rise. Lower both feet to the floor. Feel gravity underneath you as your hands come by your sides. And now hands to your hips. Lean into your right foot. Thank you. Lift your left heel and let your left hand grab onto the pinky side edge of the left foot. When you soften your right standing knee, that's why we did so many chair poses, it helps find stability underneath you. And with the right knee soft, hug the thighs together, shrug the left shoulder up and back, and begin to press your foot back into your hand as you lift up through the heart. Stay here with your right hand on your hip. Maybe it comes to the front of your chest. Perhaps it reaches to the sky. But as you soften the knee and press your foot back, take a big breath in. Stay for one more exhale, even look away from the floor if you can. On your inhale, slowly draw both feet back to the earth. Inhale to reach up, get tall. And as you exhale, soften the knees to fold over your legs. Plant the palms to the top of your mat. Step your feet to the back of your mat. Bring it back to down dog. And for that twist in your down dog, let your hands come as wide as your mat. Now pivot both heels to the right and your toes to the left as you press your left palm into the earth. Push your hands down and forward to lift your tush up and back to the wall behind you. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Now on your next inhale, come back through center, heels to the sky. Lift your heels, soften your knees, walk your feet to the middle of your mat. Bring your hands to the middle of your mat to meet yourself somewhere in the midline. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, grow longer through the spine. And as you exhale, fold and bow in. Let the head be heavy, let the knees be soft. As you bow in towards your own heart, a longer breath in and a clear, steady breath out through every direction. Now hands climb up onto your hips, stand through your legs, and a big inhale to come up to rise as your hands release. Shake it out, sip some water, take a breath or two. One more round of dancer pose. We worked on this one last week. We'll try it once more before we come down onto the ground. So we've done all of the variations of it. We've done the thigh stretch on the ground called half frog. We've done standing dancer, holding onto one foot. And now the pose that Shiva is most famous for, it's called Shiva Natarajasana, the king dancer pose. And it's a version where your hands are over your head. So I'll show it to you, you get the choice, and then we'll work through it together, once on each side. So it looks like this. You grab your strap like a big jump rope, comes around one foot, and you loop it over the foot itself. Now your foot steps over and through that X, and as you lean forward and bend your knee, you might have enough slack on the strap to lift that back heel to the sky. And then perhaps the elbows draw around, like you could give yourself a pat on the back. Now the most important thing here, his standing knee was bent for a reason. It's like the gods knew if the knee's locked out, the topple would come. So the most important thing, it's not how high that leg can lift, but the dance comes from this bottom knee as the knee stays soft. And as you hug the thigh to the middle, you press your foot back, you think not chest down, but heart up to the sky. So much to be done here. The ribs move back, the knees stay soft. If there feels like there's some room, you might walk your hands back down the strap and work the same actions, thigh to the middle, foot back, as you lift up through the heart. And now slowly, sometimes you get flung out, sometimes you can slowly release, but most important to be mindful of coming out, because that's when we forget the breath, and you might feel a little tenderness in the low back. So inhales to release. Questions? If you saw that and you're like, I would not like to use the strap, I like to have my hands and my feet. By all means, same version that we did just a moment ago. Press the thigh back and lift up through the heart. If you're coming in for the strap, find it like a big jump rope. If you haven't picked a foot yet, maybe the right foot into the strap or either one. And now cross the handle so you're making a little bow. Now step your left foot over and through, lean forward, bend your left standing knee, and lift your right heel up off the ground. Kick your own heel with your tush. There might be enough slack on the strap that you can draw your elbows to the sides and overhead. And now soften your standing knee, hug your right thigh to the middle, push your foot back into the strap as you lift up through the heart, breathing. Stay here, or maybe your hands walk down the strap towards that right foot. And as you hug the thigh to the middle, push your foot back, lift up through the chest, a breath. And when you're ready to come out, release the grip of your hands on the strap, lower the foot to the ground, and shake it out. How'd that go? We did it last week. Sometimes it feels better, sometimes it feels worse, sometimes it feels different, but the whole range is acceptable. Questions? Second side, does bending the standing knee help? Yeah, it feels counterintuitive, but the more this knee stays soft, the more space you might have in the chest. Let's do the last side. Find your strap, big jump rope, around the left foot. Make a bow, cross it over, and then bring your right foot over and through. Lean forward, bend your right standing knee. Bend it, bend it, bend it. And as you soften the standing knee, the left heel can get light to kick your own tush. Draw your elbows to the sides and then up overhead. And now as you soften the standing knee, hug the thigh to the middle, push your foot back to lift up through the heart. See where you're going. Continue to breathe, be here. Or perhaps if there's room, your hands walk down the strap and you dial it in. Soften the standing knee, hug the thigh to the middle and kick your foot back into your hand as you lift your heart. Take a full breath as you can. Stay for your exhale. And then with care, release the grip of your strap, lower the feet to the ground and shake it out. Nice. I said this phrase last week, but this is one of the many poses where in my mind's eye, my back foot is about to crawl and slide into my mouth. Like that's how close it feels. And then when I look at a picture or someone tells me, we're here, foot's on the ground, arms up overhead. But the whole message of this, it's not about how close or where or what the form of the pose looks like, but it's these actions that we can take. It's continuously breathing. So let's do a few counter poses. Ditch your strap, come to stand at the top of your mat, feet wide. Take a big breath in, Richa. And as you exhale, really soften your knees as you fold over your legs. Keep your knees soft, plant your palms, and step your feet back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet an inch or two wider than they are. Lift your heels, and once again, soften your knees. This will release through the backs of the legs, so you can stick your tush up towards the sky. Feel the curve in your low back. Now, can you slide the ribs back and the ears back so your head is in line with your chest? A big breath in. Stay for your exhale, or perhaps you push through the arms to lift your hips, and maybe let your heels get heavier to the earth. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Now on your next breath, lower both knees to the ground. Come into tabletop. Come to swing your legs out long in front of you. We'll do one seated twist before we come to lie on our backs. So butt on the ground, legs out long. For Ardha Matsyendrasana, the seated twist, bend your right knee, bring your right foot to the floor. Stay here. Perhaps there's a fist width distance between your foot and your thigh. Or you might cross your right foot over your left thigh, some stages. Be here, or bend your left knee and draw your left heel towards your tush. Aim of the game is to have both butt cheeks down on the ground in any variation you're in. But once your legs cross, bring your right hand behind you, reach your left arm up towards the sky. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, begin to cross your left elbow over the top of your right thigh. That's it. Every inhale, can you grow longer through the spine? Think crown of your head to the ceiling. Every exhale from your belly, begin to turn towards the right. Each breath in, grow longer through the top of your head. Slide the ears back so your head is in line with your heart. And every exhale, let the chest turn from left to right. Take one more breath. Go tall through the crown of your head. Stay for your exhale. If it feels appropriate for your neck, you might look over your back right shoulder so your left eyeball looks over your right shoulder blade. On your next inhalation, unwind, come back through center, extend your legs out in front of you, feel both butt cheeks on the ground, and we'll find the second side. Bend your left knee, left foot on the floor. Be here and breathe with your chest tall, perhaps a fist width distance between your foot and thigh. You might cross the ankle. You might bend your right standing knee. But bring the left hand back behind you. On an inhale, reach up through the right arm, get taller. And exhale to hook your right elbow over your left thigh. Begin to twist to the left. Now even here it comes in stages. Each inhale, the crown of your head grows taller to the ceiling to make space. Each exhale, the belly begins to turn from right to left. Every inhale, think top of your head towards the sky, slide your ears back so your head is over your chest. And each exhale, let the chest and the heart open from left to right. Take another breath in, let it fill you up. On the last exhale, again, if it feels appropriate for the neck and shoulders, even look over the back left shoulder so your right eyeball can look over the left shoulder blade. On your inhale, unwind, come back through center. Bend both knees, bring feet onto the ground. With your feet wide, a few windshield wipers to clear space in through the hips and through the low back. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. The next time the knees come through center, do a little spin. Come to lie on your back so that your head is up towards me and your feet are facing the wall behind you. Once you come to lay on your back, have your therapy balls within a reachable distance and have your strap within a grabbable distance as well. You may use those before we come to lay into Shavasana. If you need therapy balls or a strap, more than happy to bring them over to you. But once you're on your back, bend your right knee, bring your right thigh in towards your chest, give it a hug. Perhaps you make some circles in the right foot or ankle, spread and point the toes, a deeper breath in, and a longer breath out. Now draw the right ankle back through center. Either interlace your hands behind your right thigh or find your strap to bring it around the ball of your right foot as you straighten your right leg towards the ceiling. Good. As the right heel reaches to the sky, whether you're holding the back of the leg or holding the strap, notice what you feel in the right calf and the back of the right leg. If you're holding the strap, can you soften the grip of your fingers around the strap? And then everyone shrug your shoulders to the ears and snuggle your shoulder blades together as you gently press the back of your head into the earth. A deep breath in and a longer breath out. Straighten your left leg long out in front of you. We come in for a twist. If your hands are behind the right thigh, bend your right knee. If your hands are holding the strap, bring both edges of the strap into just your left hand. And then everyone begin to move the right leg up and over to the left hand side. That's it. Your right arm might reach out to the side like a T. It might rest on your ribs or belly. But as you peel the right pinky toes back towards your right shin, shrug the right shoulder up and back. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. On your next inhale, with care, draw the right leg up through center. Release it from the strap, lower the right foot to the floor. And give the left leg a hug. Start with some circles in the left ankle or foot. We've spent so much time on the feet this afternoon. A breath or two to just notice what it feels like to be off of them for a moment. And now the next time the left ankle comes through center, either interlace your hands with that awkward thumb or pinky on top, or find your strap to bring it around the ball or the sole of your left foot. Straighten your left heel up towards the ceiling. As you reach through the heel, can you shrug both shoulders to your ears, snuggle your shoulder blades towards one another, and gently press the back of your head down into the earth as you take a full breath in and a longer breath out. Now straighten your right leg long in front of you. If you have your hands behind your left thigh, bend the left knee. For those with the strap, bring both edges of the strap into just your right hand. And now let the left leg move up and over to the right for a twist on your back. Your left hand might rest on your belly or on your ribs, or if there's some space, you might reach it off to the side like a big T. But listen for the breath. Can I give you a little assist here, Keisha? Press your heel into me, and let the toes open off to the side, the other side. There you go. And now keep that as you take a big breath in and a bigger exhale out. You okay there? On your next inhale, with care, draw the left leg up through center, release it from the strap, and give both of your legs a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. Some circles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you lean ever so slightly from one side to the other. But a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Now release the hold of your legs to the earth. I'll talk you through just a few moments of therapy balls this afternoon in the glutes and in the hips. Some options. If you prefer or know any other region that you'd like to explore, feel free to take this time now. Or you might set up early for rest, where we'll meet you momentarily. But for those doing therapy balls in the glutes, take them out of their tote, bend your knees, bring both feet onto the floor, hold a therapy ball in each hand, and now lift your hips just enough to pop the therapy balls to the top of your butt cheeks. Think either side of your sacrum, of your tailbone, in the muscle and flesh of your tush. Once you find a place you can breathe and be in, let your arms fall alongside of you or on you as you take a deep breath in and open your mouth to let that breath go. Now with your feet wide and knees wide, begin the slow swivel of your hips. Move your tush to the left and your knees a few inches to the right. And then tush to the right and knees a few inches to the left. Continue the swaying of your hips and notice how the therapy balls move along the upper fibers of your butt cheeks, where we spent so much time this afternoon. The more your hips swivel, the wider the therapy balls may become. But continue to really feel and listen for the depth of your breath. Now, after going evenly from side to side, one more place. Draw your knees and hips through center. Use your hands and lower the therapy balls a few inches to the middle of your glutes, slightly lower than before. You might bring them close together as they'll get wider apart. And as your hands fall where they fall, a big breath in and a long exhale out. Begin that swivel once again. Sway your hips to the right and knees to the left. Hips to the left and knees to the right. And as you zigzag your tush and your knees from side to side, those therapy balls will get wider and wider apart. Slowly, eventually, they may end up towards the outer seams and outer edges of your tush. And once you find them there, wider than they've been, keep them as you draw your hips through center. Now heel toe both of your feet to the left side of your mat and drop just your right knee to the right so that right therapy ball finds its way somewhere into your outer right hip, outer right glute. Try and unclench the fists, the fingers, the jaw. Take a deep breath in and open your mouth to let that breath go. And now draw the right knee and feet back through center. For the last side, walk your feet to the right and drop your left knee to the left. So the left therapy ball finds its way into your outer left tush. A big breath in through the nose. And open your mouth to let all of that breath out. Now on your inhale, draw the knees and feet back through center. Use your hands and pop the therapy balls out and let the weight of your tush drop down onto the ground. Take a breath into what you might not see, but you can more than clearly feel. And as you begin to prepare for rest in any way, shape, or form, feel free to add or remove any layers or props. You might let your hair down or set your glasses safely off to the side. But give yourself as much time and anything to become as comfortable as you possibly can. As you lay yourself against the earth. Let the eyes soften. Let the breath be full. To really slow and steady yourself down. The ultimate act of dissolve, where each breath that you take dissolves the entire practice that was. Each round of your breath may help you to arrive to where you are now. And every breath that comes after, make space for what has yet to come. So for these next few moments, can you let each round of your breath, let your body get heavier into the earth. And the heavier your body becomes, the more spacious you may just begin to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer all of that breath out. Let your breath begin to slowly awaken the body that you're in with any gentle movement that feels sweet to you. You might slowly roll your wrists or ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head from one side to the other, heavy against its support. Or just watching for any neighbors or props around you. Perhaps your arms reach away from your legs, or you draw your knees in towards your chest to give yourself an embrace. Perhaps you will all meet with the knees bent, arms overhead, as you roll over to any side of your choice to curl into yourself. And a few breaths here as you press into the ground and make your way up to rise to a tall seat facing the front of the room. As you take a breath in and down, let it fill you up completely. And exhale to offer the breath up and out in every direction. Our time together will finish with one more of those breaths. Your hands can come to anywhere that feels like center for you. As you take a deep breath in, to let it all go. You might bow your head to your hands or lift your hands towards your head in a simple yet such sweet gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to each other who practiced right alongside with you. And I continuously bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. It's like the airplane has landed. We all made it. Drink water. Maybe take the allergy medications if the season is coming. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. There's a few things that are happening this weekend. Eric and Mariel are offering a Roll Into Rest workshop on Sunday from 1 to 2. It's rolling, and then Eric offers a restorative workshop, a great way to just tuck yourself in and kind of wind down from the weekend. Eric's also offering a restorative yoga class on March 23rd. And so many things. They're going to Greece in July, which feels like so long, but also tomorrow. Anyone else have announcements? Anything? Yes! Yes, Molly!
We're starting events at my bookstore, Books and Records, and next Tuesday, we're doing a book talk with Elijah Wald, who wrote the Dylan book that the movie was based on. And he's going to
Yeah.
the Dylan book? The Dylan book? Oh, the Dylan book, yeah. So he'll be there.
Yay! Can you remind us where Molly's Books and Records is?
Indian County Market and 10 South 9th Street. And tomorrow I'll have some paper about it.
Yay!
So there is pre-registration, but I just wanted to mention.
Thanks, Molly.
Lots of good stuff.
I can't wait. Thank you for sharing. Kishan, you got anything? Just a dreamy store?
Have a vintage store on 4th Street. That is very nice. Next couple weeks we'll be in New York doing trade shows. There are these big vintage trade shows. So if you like vintage and want to take a trip to New York, we will be there.
Yay. Thank you. Bye, y'all. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Did you?
Yeah,
Thank you.
you should have gotten like a little, at least honorable mention.
I did.